It is the Riot Podcast. Good day. Welcome to Monday, April 25th. Nikki, Isaiah, hello.
Hello. You will hear in the podcast a lot about Hudson's haircut, but you get to see it.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
If you go to the any of the RadioU socials, we posted it everywhere and getting a lot of comments on it. Most nice. I do like the one person on the RadioU Riot Facebook page. You asked Nikki, like, did it look better short or long?
Yeah.
And almost everybody says short, which is, that's a nice thing to say. But then there's one person so far, Lindsay. She said long. Should have kept it the way it is.
This is it that way.
Dang.
Isaiah, someone else said that Hudson also looks like he's 12.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. It all comes full circle now.
Yeah, right.
Well, if you want to see that there, because I recognize in our studios it's hard because we just have a background behind you and we have to wear headphones, and then Hudson always wears his hat, so you're like, what hair? You can't even see it.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thing. I was like, for the transformation photo, it should have been hatless.
Yeah, that's
It should have
another
been
It
hatless.
should've- I told...
Because nobody can see the haircut. They just know that there's no length on it.
I know, but
now.
that's how they're always going to see it. So you have to judge the new haircut. Does it look good with a hat?
So basically, your
It
new
doesn't matter.
haircut comes with headphones and a hat.
Right, exactly.
Interesting. Because the other photo, you don't have a hat on. It's showing all of your hair.
Yeah, I wanted to show people one time because everybody, apparently, I'm told, was always asking, can we
wanna
see
see
you
your
with your hat
hair.
off? So this is the chance they got.
But they only
And
got one of the two.
That's not good enough, though.
No, I saw some comments. They're like, "How about the hat off?"
Yeah, I know.
Nobody wants the.
Maybe we'll take another picture later, or maybe Hudson just never wants to take the hat off again.
You know
so-
what? I'd like to leave a little bit of mystery. And I'll tell you what, though, it looks pretty dang good with no hat on.
Is
you'll
that
never
so?
see it.
Yeah,
You'll
yes,
never
it
know.
does. Yes,
You'll
it
never
does.
know.
So if you want, save it for a fundraiser, all right? So if you want to check out RadioU Riot on our Facebook page, also RadioU Official on our
Instagram.
Thank
TikTok.
you. You can also go to TikTok as well and see it and say
MySpace.
how much you love it. I've done nothing with that for a long time.
Friendster.
MySpace.
So I don't even know what to do with that.
Snapchat. Do we still use that?
We do every
the
so often.
snappity chats.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the hair, there is other stuff in the show.
Yeah,
too.
we talked about some other things, and I don't know where Hudson's like hat phenomenon, like where that would rank on like the most off-putting flirting tactics. If a hat is like a positive, if it's a negative.
If he tips his
if you
hat
tip
at
maybe
you.
a tip of the hat,
My lady.
yes. Well, how do you do?
Hello.
But yeah, we went over a list of some of the top things you should not do when you're getting ready to approach a female or male for the first time.
It was a learning experience, but fortunately for Nikki and I, it doesn't matter unless we want to flirt with our
Do
if I want to
people
flirt
not
with my
still
wife.
come up and flirt with you?
What?
You still
Must be just a you thing, Nikki, I guess.
you still get people that come up to you.
If you get unwanted, hey, that's actually what we could learn. If you and I, we get unwanted flirting and we're like, no, we don't want any part of this. We just respond with the things on the list that make
You
you
be
very
slimy
off-putting.
back.
Yeah,
So
just be
slimy.
Oh, I can be slimy. Trust me.
I feel like that there's a good thing from flirting though if you were able to get like free things from it, you know. Maybe get yourself out of a
sure.
ticket. I don't know if that would work for you without your hair anymore, but Nikki, that might work for you.
You just go, officer.
Officer, please no.
Right.
I don't know what we were doing.
I have no idea.
but if you'll
work.
just
Could
tell
work.
me what's the speed limit, I'll know from
Yeah,
now
exactly.
on.
We'll never again make this mistake.
Well, we do go over 11 no-nos when it comes to flirting and the awkward stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. We also went over one of the worst smells, and like growing up when I lived in the country, so circling around me there was many fields, farm fields, and you always knew when they put the chicken manure out. It was like first thing in the morning,
Yep.
getting ready to go like to school, and I just remember I have that such a vivid picture of that in my mind, of that terrible smell.
Actually, this is the time
But what
of
do
year,
they put
right?
it out for? Is it like
It's like an enhancer.
Yeah.
you put it?
It's a fertilizer.
Yeah.
You
right?
put it on the fields?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they put
for
it on
like-
the fields to help everything grow.
See, I wonder if like there's different crops that would have different kinds of manure, right? So
Yes.
like,
Is it in my corn?
is the chicken?
Yeah.
What? I don't
They
know.
clean
Yeah.
it.
I don't know. Where I grew up, it was a lot of corn, and so that was mostly they seemed to mostly use cow manure though.
Oh,
So
and
I don't know what the chicken
Like
manure was even
beans, I
used
know, like,
for.
what-
Soybeans?
Yeah, the beans
maybe?
and stuff.
And I do know so much of our farm fields in our area are farmed for feeding other animals.
Yeah.
And we're not the animals, so we don't really have to worry. But chicken manure just, ugh.
It's just, it's not so bad. It's just
Yeah.
one of the, and the thing too, is because in the story they talk about how like the neighbors were really upset because there was a bunch of like not chicken manure but dead chickens, unfortunately. But then I think about like, you know, I didn't really consent to this chicken manure being so close to my house. But I guess if I chose to live there and there's farm fields around, then it comes with the territory.
That's right.
But when are they obstructing? Like, I want to be able to walk outside and be able to have fun outside, maybe have friends over. I can't be doing that with chicken manure.
Well,
circling
move
my
out of
house.
farmland then.
Maybe in farmland, if you're really a farmer, it'd be like,
That's
it
right.
smells
That's when you
good.
invite people over. And they just spread the manure, boys. Come on over to my place.
What is it when you you don't take a shower but you just wipe off and stuff? And so like
I don't want to say what they call that.
farmers are just like wiping off with the manure and
yeah.
just like, hey, this is the smell that
This
you
is
get.
the good stuff.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. We'll give you a chance to experience some of the other exciting topics that we might cover in this.
Yes, and don't forget to check out the haircuts and everything, and share your thoughts and opinions on that and everything we talk about today. And then we will. You'll hear from us soon.
Share your nice thoughts and nice opinions
Sure.
at RadioU Riot on
Ideally.
Facebook. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Are we allowed to finally say something now?
Yes.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to.
Well, I think you should announce what happened.
Oh, no. You guys should just share your thoughts. Describe it
opinions?
to everybody.
All right. Well, finally, someone did what they said they were going to do.
Finally. They followed through on their
Followed
actions.
through. And that's exciting because we don't always get that. But welcome to the studio, a brand new Hudson who has gotten his hair cut.
A new look, a new me.
It is short.
Yeah, it's pretty short. So I got my hair cut over the weekend, and I finally found a barber that I appreciate. Nothing against any of the other barbers I've had.
Was it Isaiah's one or did you go someplace else?
I don't even know who Isaiah's one is. He wouldn't recommend it to
I
me.
don't know who he is either.
It's
but
like
he
he
did a
wants-
darn good job.
Wanted to keep me away or
You
something.
want to share?
Yeah, no, I couldn't have Hudson going there as well. And it's funny, too, because I'm thinking about this. Like, there's probably people who just tune into Radio U that maybe this is their first time listening ever. And Hudson's like, I got my hair cut over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is terrible
Good
radio. Like,
content.
why would I care about you getting your
Good
hair cut?
content.
I will tell you if you go to Radio U Official, or I think it's up on our Radio U Facebook page as well, you have to see how long Hudson's hair was
Yeah.
in order to appreciate how his new haircut is now.
It's come. It went a long way until now. Actually, you know what, guys? I was
you have
hoping you
it?
could help me with this. 'Cause
Oh
I
my
got-
gosh, that's disgusting. You need to zip
do you
that
mean?
up.
What's
You need to
disgusting?
zip that up.
Why
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in the bag.
Why
Zip
didn't you
that
put
up.
it in a bigger bag than that? It's in a sandwich bag.
He's got
This
he's
is all I
holding his
had.
hair like a foot away from us, and it's
Yeah,
kind of like
here, what do
halfway
you want?
in, halfway out of the bag.
You
I'm the one
need-
that has a hair problem. I don't know why you're so upset about
See,
this.
because it looks gross when it's that close to me.
It's just flipping
I
around.
know,
was
I
on
can
my
see
head
the
a couple days
strands.
ago.
I know, I was normal on your head. Now it's like not on your head. I don't
You
know what's
need
happening with it.
a gallon bag,
yeah, I
or just
do.
like maybe a grocery store bag. You know, if
That's
you
so
go
much
pick up
hair.
order.
Do you like how it look at this? Can you see?
Oh, it looks like you've murdered someone. It actually
does.
is
What do you
weird.
mean?
It is weird.
Why is it weird?
It looks like you bought that online. You're waiting to put it on your shrine somewhere in your house. Whose is that? Is that yours?
It's mine. Look at you. Like how the guy just tied it off. The barber just tied it off
Oh, with a rubber band? Hey.
hair tie or something official. That's how he cut it. Which again, I appreciate. He told me when I walked in, he says, I only know one long haircut. So I said, well, good news.
And cut it off.
And then he did not know neither of us knew what to do with this hair.
Can you donate it? It's long enough.
I don't know. Is it long enough?
I think it is. And as long as like you haven't bleached your hair and stuff.
Oh, does it
which
look like I bleached my hair?
It does not. I didn't know.
You look pretty natural, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, I think you can probably donate that.
I think you could donate it.
Well, why do I have to sit in your hair?
It sounds like you've had some experience.
No, I've never done that.
You've never done it?
No, my hair.
Isaiah?
I've
Never.
colored my hair for a very long time.
No, so,
I can't.
Not a candidate.
You're off the list,
I'm
huh?
off the list.
Dang, you can't be a hair donor.
No, but
Well, I guess I should do it then to make up for you.
Why don't you just leave it on the break room table like we do with everything else here?
There
Anybody
you go.
wants
Yeah.
it? Yeah, somebody could take it.
Well, Hudson looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I thought I liked you more with long hair, but you look great with short hair too.
You think it changes my look? Like do I look like a different type of guy?
I think we'll have to check in throughout the week to see like how that changes you.
Yeah.
But for now, you're still Hudson.
You look similar.
I was asking my wife, do I look more or less like redneck?
I don't know. Oddly enough, I thought it would be less, but I honestly can't be sure.
Right? I can't tell. I almost
You're still wearing a hat and a flannel, and
right.
Maybe if you change that up, you might look less redneck. I
think
know.
it's hard because you're still wearing a hat.
Yeah.
So that makes it harder to.
Oh no! I thought that the long hair might have added to that because people always thought it looked like a mullet, but now without it, I kind of think I look even more.
You might actually. I might agree with that.
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of like country boys out there
with the long flowy hair. You look more like maybe hippie-ish. I don't know. Not even hippie. I don't know what it was, but now you definitely
just
do have
maybe
that redneck
like
look.
Unwashed trucker, and now
slightly homeless. Yeah, a little bit of both.
Well, I tell you what, we appreciate all your comments on what he looks like now by going to Radio U Official on Instagram and show some love for Hudson's new haircut, and also at Radio U on Facebook, and tell us what you think he looks the most like now.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast, Radio U.
I should post your hair transformation pictures there too. But I was gonna say, you smiled for your like after photo, but you don't always smile for like any other photo that you take. So your pre-long hair Hudson photo, you look very sad or.
Well, okay, two things on that.
Were you trying for a look with it to be extra smiley then in your haircut?
I wanted to show a big contrast. Okay, two things. One, the pre-haircut photo that was taken at the barber shop with other people around. And I don't know, some other people here that are more comfortable on social media, just like taking pictures wherever. I'm not that.
You should have been all posy and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't going to just start going. Plus, it was like it was more of a man's barber shop. I didn't want to be like this, I don't even know.
What didn't you want to be like?
I don't even know. You know what I mean? It was just like a bunch of dads. It felt like in there.
You just
and
wanted
so
to
they'd
get
be
it
like, "What are you
done?"
doing, goofing off? Stop smiling. This isn't that kind of barbershop." So that, and then two, I wanted to make it. You see sometimes on like commercials on TV, they have they're for weight loss or whatever stuff, and so like before the picture, it's all poorly lit, and the people are all upset looking, and of course they look much heavier. But then in the new picture, the current picture
is
after they tried Nutrisystem, and they're all thin and happy, and it's brightly lit and whatever. So that's what I was trying here.
Okay, I was curious because I thought, wow, he was really. It's not like you look mad in your first picture. It's just you don't always smile.
Well, if I made the first picture look really good, then when we put the two side by side, to be like, why'd you get your hair cut?
Plus, when you do social media, sometimes when you post like not necessarily a before and after, if like you're just showing a progression of something, sometimes people are like, well, which way is it supposed to go? Are you now like the long hair? Is that new you? Did you get extensions? Or you're like, which is the new you?
Right.
And you want them to be able to understand, like, no, he got his hair cut. So
yes,
that's the one.
We wanted to be very clear. But still, even looking at these pictures, you could go take a look. Maybe you still prefer the dour, upset, long hair version of me. But some people will prefer, hopefully, the short hair version.
Well, you can now see it at Radio U on Facebook, and then Radio U Official on Instagram. And Keith is saying Locks for Love is another organization to consider, or Wigs for Kids.
Okay.
Because I think you have enough hair. Like, he still has his hair that he cut off. You should have enough to donate somewhere.
Yeah, I could probably do something with it.
And Drew mentioned something about an unwashed trucker. So perhaps that's the look you're going for.
Like I said, when I went in there, it was a man's barbershop. They don't normally get people coming in with long hair like mine.
So they didn't know what to do with it?
So they had no idea what to do with the hair either. And of course I don't. So
well, we'll find you an envelope and a place you can send it to.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky or Nidson? It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
We have a study that was done in Cyprus, the country of Cyprus, the island nation, where one of their universities.
People date there too.
Oh, yeah. Right? People can be single anywhere. People can be flirty anywhere. So they were trying to figure out what makes people suck at flirting. So they, at first, took about 200 people, a little over 200 people, and kind of just asked them all what are things that you do that are off-putting when somebody does them while flirting.
Yeah.
So they got this list, and then they had another group, over 700 people, test out the tactics that were considered that were coming up in the questionnaire for those 200 people to see, and then have these tactics rated to see which ones scored the worst, which are the most off-putting when actually put into practice
When you're flirting
when it
with
comes
someone?
to flirting. They said the number one worst thing to do when you're flirting is to have a slimy approach.
Yeah.
Real
slimy.
yeah, I'm glad that really drills it down. That's very vague. But I get so.
But they don't say what a slimy approach is.
They don't really drill that down too much further. But I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want to have a slimy approach to flirting.
And you know when you're in one. So
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
You may not know you're doing a slimy approach, but you know when somebody else is doing a slimy
Yep.
approach on you.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what makes it tough, right? So that's why you just got to stay far, far away from slime altogether. Number 2, bad hygiene.
Now that's not a tactic. That's
What do
just
you
that's
mean?
just how you are. It's not like my move is having bad hygiene. That's not your move. Like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna brush my hair. Actually, maybe she'll like that. Or I'm not gonna brush my teeth. That's just like a thing that you have. That's not really a tactic.
well, they're
it's-
just saying avoid it.
Right.
If
That's smart, yes,
if
we
that's your
should.
thing.
We can all, you can always improve your hygiene. So if you're having some struggles in the dating world,
Yeah.
that's something you could
smell bad. That's
just,
the big one.
Just try to fix that. Just try whatever you're doing, do better.
Number three was the exclusive interest.
Yeah, so they were saying that that if you're not just focusing on one person when you're flirting, you're trying to entertain a whole group.
You're working the whole room.
Yeah, that was pretty high on the list of not really turning out great. Number 4, differing views. That's very vague. And how can you know if you're flirting with somebody, if it's somebody you just met, that you're, what are you bringing up politics? What are
Real
you doing?
deep off the rip.
Yeah, but sometimes, people try that when talking to someone for the first time.
Yeah.
And maybe you get nervous and your views come out early.
You just try to jump in with something
do.
about, oh man, those Democrats, right?
Something like that.
But if you leave it vague like that, then you can find out the person's views.
Well, it leads to number 5, a vulgar vocabulary.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to flirt with someone, they say, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
If you're trying to chat them up.
Now, this one's a tough one to fix. Next up on the list was lack of intelligence.
Oh, that's a killer.
So I guess if you're having some trouble with the flirting, you think you've crossed off the first 5 off the list, and you're still having struggles, I guess read a book.
You just might not be smart enough to flirt?
Yeah, I guess not.
Well, you just need to find a girl or boy that's equally dumb as you are. You're just going for somebody too
you gotta
smart.
lower
That's how
your
it is.
standards. Come
No,
on.
it's not lowering your standards.
is.
No, it is not.
Which leads to the exclusive interest while you're working the room. 'cause
Yeah,
you haven't
exactly.
found somebody.
Yeah, she seems a little bit too smart.
Aw, these
Number
are flirting
7.
tactics to avoid.
This is one we have a tough time with: narcissism.
Oh, that's usually to me the slimy approach.
Yeah, that's the radio disease too.
Oh, yeah.
You just think you think you're the center of the universe. You got to watch out for that when you're
But
flirting.
then we are better when it comes to 8 sometimes. So we do have one, but they say lack of humor and self-esteem.
Now, that's one that I hear people complain about a lot, is not the lack of humor. I don't even know why those two are really related, your sense of humor and your self-esteem. But I hear people complain a lot that they say, I went on a date with this person and they just kept bringing up like, oh, I look so terrible today, stuff like that. And it's
Oh,
just
they're down on themselves. Yeah.
But in a way where it sounds like they're trying to get compliments out of it. And you shouldn't have to do that on a date. Obviously, if you're on the other person just keeps complaining about themselves, that's uncomfortable for you. But if you're the person that's complaining, trying to get those compliments, you don't have to do that. They should just be complimenting you. So if they don't compliment you without you bringing up how bad you look, then that's not a real compliment, and they're not a person you want to be with.
Well, to wrap up the list, excessive intimacy, meaning like just don't do all the kissy. Leave them
Touchy-feely.
alone. Don't
Keep
touch.
your hands to yourself.
I like number 10. I thought it should be higher on the list. I don't know.
Well, it seems like most people are able to, all that other stuff, the personality-related stuff and the hygiene is a lot more important than how the person looks.
And 11 for the flirting tactics to avoid is don't be stingy.
That means pay for the appetizers, Isaiah.
Oh, no. I guess I'll just rely on the other 10. Hopefully I can avoid those.
Just don't have a slimy approach. That's the main one.
Yep.
If you're looking for diet motivation, you won't find it here. The Riot, Radio U.
Baseball was in the news over the weekend. That's unusual, especially at this time of year. But there was actually an incident involving Isaiah's own Cleveland Guardians. How's their season going so far?
It's going all right. Better than expected.
Better than expected.
I'm sad to say when I saw the article, I was like, who's the Guardians?
Yeah, what is that team?
Then
Some
I
sort of new team?
remembered that's Cleveland.
Yeah, the Cleveland Guardians, they were playing in New York against the Yankees this weekend.
Who's the Yankee? No, just kidding.
And the Yankees, well, what happened was, were you watching the game, Isaiah?
I was not.
So it looks like Stephen Kwan, he's an outfielder for the Guardians. He's been having a good season, right?
Incredible rookie so far.
He's trying to make a catch in the outfield, and as happens sometimes, you get so focused on trying to catch the ball or whatever, you get too much momentum going, you just slam into the wall.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to him, and so while he was getting checked out, it seems, medically, after he slams into a hard wall, it sounds like the Yankees fans, some of the fans in the stands were kind of heckling him and whatever. This is a guy that could have been injured, so not really a great thing to do.
Ooh, the players get mad.
So Miles Straw, another outfielder for the Guardians, kind of climbs up the wall and starts shouting back at these guys, which honestly, you probably, as a baseball player, you should know that these guys just want attention. The best thing you can do is just probably ignore them, but that's easier said than done, especially in a situation like this. So he kind of starts yelling at him. Then it all comes to a head after the game, where the Yankees get the win, and these fans in the same section, it looks like, start throwing beer bottles and other paraphernalia onto the field at the Guardians players, particularly Miles Straw, who had been yelling at him earlier.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, just a straight up horrible look for Yankees fans.
Well, you can tell they were all mad.
Yeah, so it's again, you kind of, maybe it might have been wise for Miles Straw to kind of just let it go and let these drunk idiots just do what they were going to do and yell whatever. But still, there's no excuse whatsoever for throwing stuff.
Okay, it is kind of funny though. I think the one guy catches a beer bottle.
Yeah,
he
that,
did.
right?
He just caught it.
It's like, what? Do you get a point for that or what?
Yeah, I thought he was going to throw it back when you watched the video.
I thought he was going to too.
That would have been an amazing move, but he's the bigger man,
So
right?
when the guy climbed up the thing and started arguing with the fans, do you get fined for that? Or
No, he won't get fined,
No,
no.
Yeah,
it's not.
I don't think so. I think because right now there's such a so many times people are yelling at the players and stuff, and a lot of players have been a little bit more outspoken about how fans feel like they can say whatever they want because they're not on the court or they're not on the field. When realistically, if any of those fans were yelling at any of these players in actual real life, these players are 5 times larger.
Sure.
Right. They would just crush you in your life, but because you're able to be in the stands and protected, you feel like you can say or do whatever you want.
Well, I feel
it's just not the case, you know?
With NBA, it seemed like they've really gone after kicking people out who say things, and I know they're courtside, so it's a little closer.
Right.
But here, I'd be like, hey, let's go take them out of the stadium.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to, you can police because you got cameras and everything. You can see if people are throwing stuff. I would imagine, I don't know if these fans got kicked out or reprimanded or anything, but if it would come to a point where they actually injured somebody with what they were throwing, that was certainly they do an investigation and figure that out.
Haven't you seen the price of concessions?
Yeah, right.
Why are you throwing your stuff?
That was the end of the game. They probably hadn't been able to
they're
buy
done
anything for
anyways?
7. They probably downed what as evidenced by the way they're acting.
Sure.
I think they had their fill of all the drinks they could get.
Dude, they needed to recycle, not start throwing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, man, just a terrible look by the Yankees. You know what? They're probably just frustrated. Probably just frustrated at being a barely above mediocre team for so many years.
No, don't say it.
Yeah, I think they've got some stuff they need to work out.
Is that the excuse?
It's not an excuse, but it explains it.
It's right.
It explains it.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The Riot, Radio U.
Check out this picture I just sent you, Nikki. Look at that.
Let's see. Where did you send it to me at?
Well, it's on the
it's on the sheet.
list.
Okay, I'm clicking on. Well, are those little shark fins?
That picture right there is almost 400 shark fins.
Now they're
all
baby.
laid out.
They look like baby sharks.
They, don't even start that.
Oh, didn't mean to.
There's just a million people out there that are like, yeah, come on.
I just mean they're younger, smaller looking sharks. It's not like one of those is a great white.
No, I don't know what. Well, yeah, they say. So what we have is in total 381 whole shark fins and 29.2 pounds of frozen shark fins. They were discovered at a seafood restaurant in San Antonio, Texas, in I don't know, a shark fin bust.
Yeah, how are they selling those?
Well, they were making that for, of course, the shark fin soup. It is in some ways considered a delicacy in some areas.
It's just not, I thought, allowed here. So is that?
Well, it's not.
Did they have a secret menu?
Yeah, I don't know, right?
Like, how did you know to order it?
I don't know if they were, because, some of it's frozen and stuff, and I don't know if this was the one restaurant where you could get it on the down low in Texas or what happened with it.
So gross to read the story.
But the fins, they say, I guess they're not all from the same type of shark, but many of them came from black tip sharks.
In the Gulf.
Which are found in the Gulf of Mexico. Although they say it's not clear if that's where these sharks, I mean, how can you trace it back?
Did you see how come they can't?
What do you mean?
Because some were already peeled.
Already peeled? I didn't know you had to do that.
I didn't know either.
Well, I guess you would if you're eating soup, because that's what it's for. It's for shark fin soup. You wouldn't want to bite into shark skin, right? That doesn't sound very appetizing.
I guess I didn't think I wanted to bite into shark at all.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. Like when you eat fish, you don't eat the fins, right?
No.
What part of the fish would you call the meat that you eat?
The meat part. It is the inside.
What is it, like the fish breast?
It's like their
like if you were comparing it to a chicken?
It's their body.
Their breast, thigh.
It's their fin. It's
their loins. Is it their loins that we're eating? Fish loins?
I don't
Tuna
know.
loins?
Well, they're saying with this is a horrible practice. What they do is they take shark fins at sea and then they just throw the shark back in the water.
Right.
And the shark,
Meanwhile,
in case you didn't know, can't live.
Right.
Without
it
its
needs
fins.
that. I would think it would be hard to, if nothing else, to swim if you don't have fins.
No, and
you're a
shark fins,
shark.
the sale of that is illegal in Texas. It became, because Texas was kind of like they say as a hub for shark fins.
Yeah, I guess probably because they have like
So
a lot
much
of
water.
coast and there's all these sharks that are in the Gulf of Mexico, so you could fish for them there and then bring them back into Mexico. But it is illegal. And what's weird is, so San Antonio, Texas, I don't know if you know, nowhere near the ocean, like 2 hours away. So it's not even like this was a coastal city where they were finding these where you would expect it. So I don't know. I don't know how they were tipped off or anything like this, but man, it is sad to see all those shark fins just laid out like that.
Well,
a lot of good sharks gave their lives for those fins.
Bailey is the one who found out, and Bailey is a canine, a shark sniffing dog.
Is that what they do?
They're trained to sniff out shark fin, sea turtle shells, red snapper, dove, and oysters. Certain things where certain variations are maybe not allowed. So yeah, these dogs are trained, and maybe they were like, "Hey, let's go to this restaurant for lunch."
You still think they were tipped off?
By the dog.
I right?
Lower your expectations enough, and you'll never be disappointed. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, would you like to admit how often how much screen time you have per day?
I'm not I don't think I'm up there as most, or maybe I used to be. So I really don't. I don't and we're talking just me, not like if Eric has something on.
Yes.
Like my own personal screen time.
Your own personal phone time.
I'd say maybe hour and a half.
That's it?
I think.
No way.
Yeah.
The average adult spends about 3 hours per day on their phone.
Sure.
According to this
now on my phone.
Yeah.
I thought you just meant like dedicated screen time for watching something.
Oh, no. I just mean how much, if you logged into your digital well-being or whatever they call it on Apple.
No one wants to see that. That then makes your well-being bad.
See? Yeah, it's not well-being at all. I just looked at mine just for yesterday.
Yeah?
We're up over 7 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I woke up early yesterday. So, I wake up early every day. So we just have more time in the day to be on our phones. I was looking back for the last week. And I was closer to like maybe 3 hours a day, about the average. Well, but most of us spending 3 hours on average a day on our phones, we probably know, at least we imagine we'd be better off if we just got rid of our phone completely, right?
Well, no one needs to say that, but probably.
We probably would be, but that doesn't mean we're going to. Well, we have an interesting study here out of a university that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but it's in Germany. They wanted to find out how people's well-being changed based off of how much they use their phone. So they made 3 groups of people. One group where they spent a week without a phone whatsoever, which sounds insane. And one day it sounds like enough to try to go without your phone. To go for a whole week, it's outrageous. But then they had another group where they just wanted them for 1 week, cut your use down by 1 hour, whatever your normal is.
That's good.
1 hour less. And then they had one group that was the control group that just could do whatever they wanted on their phone. So this only lasted for a week, but they interviewed people at the beginning and the end of the week about different things, about how they were feeling, how much they were like smoking, exercising, all this different stuff about their health. And then they came back 1 month and 4 months afterwards and again asked these people all the same questions. So what they found was the people who went the week entirely without their phone, when they came back, were feeling better, like their mental health was doing better, their well-being just kind of across the board. They were doing better.
Yeah.
And their phone use after going 1 week without, 4 months down the line, they were still using their phone 38 minutes less on average than they were before this whole thing started.
That's good.
But then there's the group that reduced their smartphone uses by an hour, remember? An hour in that first week.
An hour away.
They at the end of the 4 months actually had better scores where their well-being improved even more than the people who went 1 week without a phone.
Well, that makes sense.
And their daily usage after 4 months had gone down even more than the people who went a week without it.
Sometimes when you try to cut everything out,
cold turkey,
like it doesn't necessarily social media wise work out that way, because you're just gonna have some of it.
It's overwhelming. And then what do they say, right? Idle hands are the devil's plaything.
You just can't help but go back to it.
All of a sudden, if you were to cut your smartphone, you just really, you need it to live life pretty much. I'm sure that, I know there's some old school people out there that don't go with the phone, but man, it is hard to live your life in this day and age without having a smartphone. But that doesn't mean that you have to use it as much as you do. They found in this study that you cut it down by 1 hour just for a week, and 4 months later, you're still feeling better.
You'd still feel good.
So if you can reduce that smartphone usage a little bit, it sounds like you'll reap the benefits.
So remember, that includes like social media, news feeds, video games, apps, just anything that you're on your phone for. Try for a week to cut it down by like an hour a day. And that might actually do you some good.
I was wondering, I'm sure there's an app like this out there, right? Where you can set a timer and it won't let you use your phone if you go over the limit. You
can set it for apps, and then Instagram, you already spent 30 minutes on it, and then it won't let you open it up until after, till the next day.
I don't think mine would work as well for just individual apps. But I think it would work really well if I just had like a 3 hour time limit or something.
Your phone goes
and I could
away.
see it counting down. And I know what I would do. I would not use my phone all day, and then I'd spend the last 3 hours of the day consecutively on my phone.
I love that.
Using it all up, because that's how I did with dieting as well. When I had to count the calories.
You have to realize, though, everybody has a different approach. So maybe just try to cut back a tiny bit.
Yeah, even if it's not an hour, just reducing your phone usage without just throwing it in the garbage. It seems like it would help a lot.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than help. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, you used to have neighbors with chickens, right?
No, I had a neighbor who had, I thought it was chickens, but it ended up being just birds.
Oh.
Like,
well, chickens are birds, though.
I know, but it was like pheasants or something you could still, I think, eat. Maybe made eggs. I don't know. But it wasn't like your neighborhood chicken.
Okay.
Which
and Isaiah,
maybe you don't have.
You used to live on a farm?
I used to live near a farm.
I thought your dad was a farmer.
He was a farmer.
For a while.
He was a farmer growing up, but I didn't live on a farm. I mean, there was pigs in my house.
Yeah,
but that doesn't count as a
close
farm.
enough.
Don't talk about your brothers that way.
Okay.
All
Sorry
right,
about that, everybody.
All right, so we have a story here. You guys have heard about the bird flu that's going around, the new edition of avian flu. Well, it affected affected and infected a Jefferson County egg farm, Jefferson County in Wisconsin. And with the bird flu going around this chicken farm, they had, of course, a bunch of chickens die. So
Did they have to kill them all, do you think?
Actually, that's a good question, right? Did they just have to
did.
start all over?
Yeah. I have
don't
this
know.
feeling.
I don't know. Yeah, because it says more than 3 million chickens were killed and buried.
Oh, they were killed and buried on the property?
Yeah, so now the problem is all of those dead chickens are causing quite the smell.
They smell anyways.
And yeah, right. Chicken. I mean, you know it's bad because if you've ever smelled the different varieties of manure, everybody that's ever smelled chicken manure agrees it's the worst.
Is that the worst?
Oh, yes.
It is definitely the worst manure. And so if it's so bad, if the chickens themselves, the dead chickens smell so bad that the neighbors of a chicken farm are complaining, you know it's bad.
Well, dude, this neighbor was like, it just smells like death. And it's like, yes, because it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Died. It's absolutely that way. They say, especially when the wind blows a certain way.
Oh, my goodness.
I love this guy. I can't even stand it myself.
It says, if people were to come over, I'm going to tell them, just don't come over here because you're not going to want to sit outside because of how bad the smell is in the area. And in addition to that, because all the chickens were buried, they're concerned that it could be affecting the water in the area. But I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Like,
why didn't
burn the chickens? Or?
Well, yeah, then imagine everybody like,
I think that would smell too,
man,
right?
is that
Wouldn't it?
worse?
it'd be wonderful.
I don't know why they didn't ship them away somewhere. Can't you just pay for that? Like,
No.
Is that what you did with your pigs?
What? We would just sell them.
You
It's like
can't.
the same
Sold
deal.
'em?
You know, whenever someone says, "Oh, the animal died," and like, "Oh, it goes to the farm," these are at the farm. It has
Yes.
to- there's nowhere else to go. They say it'll take about another month of this horrible smell because the birds are composting. This is terrible.
Too much.
Not great.
And they say it's also hard because sometimes weather can play a role. So like if it gets too hot or if it rains
Yeah.
and the ground sort of shifts and stuff.
They
that-
start rising to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Night of the Living Chickens?
This is just another reason why I don't think any of us in this room could ever be a farmer.
No, I couldn't be a farmer, but in all my days living in farmland, I thought I got used to every smell. I don't think I ever had to get used to dead chicken smell.
No way.
And you think dead chicken smell, you're just thinking of fried chicken. It can't be that.
It's not
No,
that.
not even close.
I have a hard enough time because everybody was mulching around our place over the weekend. And man, that stuff stinks. And
Yeah.
let alone you add like dead animal stuff.
yeah.
I can't imagine it. But if you're in that area, or if you're like, what's that smell? And you're in farming area,
Yep.
they say it could be if a farm gets hit by bird flu.
Could be all those dead chickens composting.
Aww.
Yeah, the bird
That's
flu,
sad.
man, it's gonna hit us. It's gonna affect everybody somehow this year.
They were going to die anyways, but this seems extra sad.
Yeah, this seems a little bit all at once, too. It's just too much.
Yeah,
Well, no one can even enjoy them.
Yeah,
million
exactly.
chickens.
There are 2 types of people in this world, and Hudson has a problem with both. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
If you go to Radio U Riot, Radio U on Facebook, either of those, you'll find and at Radio U Official on Instagram. You'll see pictures of me before and after my haircut.
Ooh.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, that's not a big deal. You just think I want attention. I mean,
You
it's
cut
a big
off all
deal
your
because of
hair.
a lot of hair. It may even be enough to donate.
You see, it was probably like 12 inches.
Yeah, it was. I think it's close. That's what they say. You need to have at least 12 inches. I don't know if it's that long.
Well, make sure you take a look and say something complimentary.
Yeah.
Everybody likes when you notice a new haircut. So you can see that there. Or if you go to Radio U Official on TikTok, you can just see what it looks like.
That's what I was going to ask you, actually. After getting my haircut a few days ago,
Yeah.
is this what it feels like to be a woman all of the time?
The people noticing you.
People commenting on your appearance, and then you either having to uncomfortably accept a compliment or
Well, I don't know. Did some guy
alternatively
say, hey, baby, nice hair? Is
you know,
what
that
you
probably
meant
was
all
more
day?
likely when it was longer, don't you think?
It sometimes can be a little different.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I'm not used to this much attention being paid to my appearance.
Sure.
Especially by, it's weird, the people that I don't even normally have conversations with. Like you go into the gas station, it's somebody you've seen a few times in your life, and you've never had a conversation with them, and they're like,
But they noticed.
"Whoa, your hair!" Yeah, that's a weird situation, isn't
I think
it?
because yours wasn't a haircut. Your hair was so long, it was like a transformation with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be. If you kept up on cutting your hair,
It wouldn't be a big deal.
it wouldn't be a big deal.
But what? So
But you it seems like you cut your hair and then see
and
you
then
in
leave
3
it.
years.
Yeah, right. It's I do leave it for a long time. So is that's the answer? I'd still want to answer my question though. Is this what women deal with all the time?
No, I mean,
Because I understand why they don't like it.
it just depends. Because sometimes, you're not wanting, you didn't dress a certain way or get a haircut or do
Right.
something in order to get a comment about it.
Yeah, that exactly. Now I get it. I mean, I wasn't the type of person that was.
You're not a cat caller.
No, I'm not. Not at all. But still, it's
Hudson's
just
a
walking a mile in
respectable
somebody
man.
else's shoes, you know? So guys, if you ever wonder, like, why do women hate when you or just roll their eyes or whatever, just feel really uncomfortable when you flirt with them, when you comment on their appearance, try growing your hair really long for a year
And
and
then
then get
cutting
it
it?
cut and then see how it feels.
Now, okay, you can be complimentary in a nice way. We talked earlier.
I know.
Like,
I mean, nobody's been. Well, actually, that's not true. People on social media.
called you homeless.
They did say I look homeless, which is fine. That's something probably I haven't said about myself, but it's still a little weird when it's coming in a way unprompted.
It's just how it is.
You could just not say things.
But I think
But it doesn't make me feel bad.
saying nice things in a nice way is still totally fine.
Yeah.
But we all know the difference.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know.
You're
I know
uncomfortable.
I know when people say nice things. I just have a hard time ever taking compliments either.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's like, "Wow, looking good with the haircut," it's still a little uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's from somebody random. Although I really should I'm supposed to feel good about that, right?
Just accept it. And I would say just toss your hair back and just go about your day, but you cut your hair off.
Yeah,
so.
right. So I
Do you
can't
have
just let
phantom
my hair down.
Do you have the phantom hair thing?
No.
Oh, you haven't had that yet?
You know what? Maybe a little bit because I was used to, especially with the hat, I would like lift the hat, put my hair back, but then, just kind of adjust it or just run my fingers through my hair.
And you're like, whoosh, there's no hair.
Right. Yeah, I do kind of do that, but it's still a little long enough I can run my fingers through it.
you
so.
go and brush your hair and it just falls down.
Yeah. Is that a normal thing, the phantom hair?
I have never done like a real short haircut, but I've done enough
You should
to
try
where,
it.
Well, I've gone to like my shoulders. That's about.
You should go shorter.
That's about as
You
short.
should
as
get a
I'm-
Karen cut.
Oh no!
Yeah, come on.
I don't want those
We
comments.
could have, what if all three of us on the show had the same haircut?
Oh God!
We should try it.
I might need a break from the show then.
Why?
Until my hair grew back.
It might look good.
No.
It might be fine.
And again, thanks. Remember, we talked about don't make comments about. We're not doing that.
You don't know until you try.
I do know. I don't think it's gonna work.
Why are Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah always eating on the show? The more we feed them, the less they talk. The Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, you're a native Ohioan, right?
Yes, I am.
A big Ohio State fan.
Big Buckeye guy.
A
yes.
big The Ohio State fan.
Thank you.
Did you see this bill in the state of Ohio? It looks like it just passed, introduced by Representative Adam Byrd of New Richmond, where he has made it so that he proposed the idea, it's now passed, where you will be able to, on your Ohio license plate,
Yeah.
you'll be able to get a license plate that actually features the logo, the emblem of the University of Alabama.
Was that not allowed?
Well, it's now officially state sponsored.
Oh, I
So,
see.
like, you know how, I don't know if every state does this, but you know how you can buy, instead of just having the license plate in Ohio, I think it has like 3 letters and 3 numbers or something like that. But you can get the ones that have like a logo of something.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it'd be like an Ohio school somewhere or an organization, and then it would have the numbers and they'd be smaller.
Yeah.
And it goes to support whatever that school is or whatever the organization. So now in the state of Ohio, you can support the University of Alabama by paying a little extra and getting the Crimson Tide logo emblazoned on your license plate.
I know there's certain pockets of places in the United States where like, oh, here's, Buckeye fans here, Buckeye fans there. Is there a lot of, Crimson Tide fans here or?
I can't imagine very many.
No, I don't know. They're so successful. Alabama is that
Yeah.
they probably have fans all over the place.
Well, I just
right?
wasn't sure if you're like, if you were in Alabama, but you're like, well, I need to move from Alabama. Alabama. You're like, well, we have to move here because that's where
Yeah,
other
exactly.
Alabama people are.
Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't know about that. Little Alabama, they call it. That must be in New Richmond, Ohio.
Every state has an Alabama.
So does this, as Ohioans, does it offend you as Ohio State fans that we're gonna be as a state of Ohio exporting some of our tax money, it sounds like, to the University of Alabama?
Well, can you only do it for them, but not any other college?
Oh no, you can do it for a lot of other colleges,
I think that's
mostly
fine, then.
Ohio-based ones. Though I don't know.
They added Marshall University was another one, and a couple
which is in West
others.
Virginia, right?
Yeah, and I, at first glance, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that they would do that. But then after reading more into it, it's like the reason that they actually are putting the logo on there is it's like for support of like an Ohio student who wants to go to Alabama. Like they get, it's like for scholarships. Now
I
that
see.
scholarship will be bigger.
Oh, so now the state of Ohio is encouraging their students to go to Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if
All
if
the
they
ones
want,
that aren't good enough to make it into any Ohio school.
if they want to go to Alabama, then they can get like a larger scholarship from as an Ohio student to go there.
Yeah, it is actually a cool story. He says his dad played at the University of Alabama under legendary coach Bear Bryant and alongside legendary quarterback Joe Namath. So that's where, even though his dad is a native Ohioan as well, I believe, that's where the connection comes from. And he did say that it's nice to have colleagues in Ohio that are willing to listen and consider differing views, at least when it comes to colleges. Maybe not on everything else.
I think most people wouldn't even look at the license plate. You're like, well, how dare they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Because like everybody, like you see license plates all the time of like different colleges and different like teams and stuff. Like you can even get like the outside, even if it's not the actual license plate, like the outside thing that you can get around and says like, oh yeah, I'm a Browns fan. I need to get one of those. But and so it doesn't matter to me. You can have whatever you want on your car. It doesn't make Alabama any better than Ohio State. So that's fine with me.
Well, our bigger question is how much extra does it cost you? Because that's where we don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how big of a fan are you?
Well, none
That's
of us.
the question.
Not big enough of Alabama.
That's right. So we just have to offer other teams,
Well,
and we would
you know what
see.
you guys have to do to offset is to get pay extra to get the Ohio State license plate.
I don't want to pay extra at all.
Yeah,
Well,
so
don't you
I'm
want to
thinking-
support the team?
No,
I
don't
support
wanna
the team
pay.
every Saturday, baby.
But my car license plate does not have to.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.